Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm just going to have a really short video for you, a little update to my spring planting. It's been a really cold spring here in Southwest Virginia. Since I planted my first kind of cold hardy crops out in the yard, it snowed probably 4 or 5 times, even as recently as yesterday. So I'm going to give you guys a little tour of what I planted, and we'll see how it's going. So right here, I planted some broccoli, and you all can see I have a bunch of little broccoli stalks coming up, so I'm really excited about those. I'm going to need to thin them once they get a little bigger, but for now, those are doing pretty well. Here, this is my perennial lovage. It's coming back very happily with a vengeance. And it looks like a few of my garlic chives have started to germinate. So these may also be my little garlic chives, which I planted just right here. You can see I have some little carrot sprouts that are coming up. I believe all of these little guys are weeds, but I'm going to wait until they get a little bigger to try and pull them all out to try and avoid disturbing my little carrots. So you can see I have a whole line of carrots that have germinated. Here's some more. And so I'm pretty happy with how those are going. There's some more over here. So they've taken a little while to germinate, but they seem to be doing well. What I planted over here was bunching onions, and I think my first little sprout is right there. So those are starting to come up as well. And then one more little sprout over here for my green onions. So we started to get a little bit of germination over here, and I'm really pleased about that, especially since we've had a super cold spring. But it has been really wet, so plenty of water, plenty of precipitation on this area, so I haven't had to water at all. So now we'll go up to my other bed and I'll show you how my bags are doing. So up here we have my bag garden. This is the beginning of my garden for this year. As I've mentioned before, this year I'm doing kind of a container bag garden because this whole area that I'm using to plant here was just completely covered in comfrey and other weeds. So you can see I've got a bunch of comfrey that's coming up in all of the little corners and every single little gap. And that is completely covering this along with a bunch of other stuff. So I am covering all this with cardboard, and I'm going to do a bag garden this year, and then I'm going to mulch everything at the end of this year so that hopefully I can plant in all of this area next year. So for now, you can see my little bag garden is doing really well. Actually, I've had a lot more success and a lot more germination in this bag garden. I think that's for 2 reasons. The first is that it's much warmer up here, and the second is that it gets a lot more sunlight. So up here is kind of on, my property's on a hill, and this is closer to the top of the hill, and over there is closer to the bottom of the hill and gets more covered by shade. And you can see these are all mustard greens, and I've had excellent germination. I've got tons of little mustard greens, and these are all looking beautiful and perfect, even though we've had a bunch of snow. Same here for my spinach. You can see I sowed in 2 rows, and my spinach is doing great. I'm getting some first new leaves. The soil is plenty wet. As I said, it snowed yesterday, so we've had lots of precipitation. My other kind of bigger, broader leaf spinach is also doing great. Really happy with that. And then over here, I have 2 different types of kale, both of which have started to germinate. This one is the Blue Ridge kale, and you see I've got a couple of little guys over here. I only planted in this bed, I planted in the 4 corners. So we'll see if it germinates over here. If not, I can plant a little bit more. And then this is a dwarf variety of kale, dwarf scotch, and I planted two rows here, and you can see these ones, this row is just starting to come up. So really happy with how this is going, and I'm excited to have an early garden. You know, these aren't growing as fast as they would if I started in the spring or after my last frost date, but I still have an entire month before my last frost date, and I'm excited to get some of these cold hardy plants started, and I'm just excited to start the gardening season. So I hope you'll stick with me and watch more of my videos and see how this turns out. This is my first year of gardening, so we're going to learn together. Thank you so much for watching my channel, my videos. It really means the world to me, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye!